All right. Welcome to the Vertical Shift Podcast. I'm Justin.
I'm Jeff.
I'm Chris.
All right. Man, it's so good to have a fresh voice in here.
Right.
And Tommy not be here. It's
Oh, he's
great.
not here? I didn't even notice.
I know. That's why I figured I'd come out in the gate and say it, because we may not know. You know?
No, Tommy canceled on the last second. Man, what a guy.
Convenient.
Yeah,
Those drummers, man, I'm telling you,
I'm telling you.
unreliable.
So I've got a funny story, Justin. Chris, I want to tell you guys. So last weekend was Mother's Day, and my mom was going to have hip replacement surgery. And so I decided to leave church early, drive all the way down to where she lives, 7.5 hours away, surprise her on Mother's Day, take her out to eat, and then be there for the surgery. And so on the way down, driving by myself after church, kind of sleepy, I'm like, man, what can I do? I grew up with two of my cousins, girl cousins, Nicole and Kelly, and they're like sisters to me. We're still close to this day. And so I'm going to call them and wish them a happy Mother's Day and catch up with them. So I called Nicole, happy Mother's Day. How are things going? What all did you do? What'd your boys do to celebrate you? Blah, blah, blah. Then I called Kelly and she didn't answer. And so I was like, okay. All right. So, hey, Siri, leave Kelly a message or whatever. And so I leave this message and I basically say, hey, happy Mother's Day. You're an awesome mom. You know, you're pretty stinking great at it. Anyway, I love you. I got a heart emoji back and a thank you. Well, my cousin Kelly saved her name in my phone as Kelly Best Cuz Eva, right? Not just Kelly. So I didn't say that. So it picked a Kelly, and I have several Kellys in my contact list.
Lord.
It was my neighbor down the road.
Wow. Yeah.
Yeah.
Great.
Yeah.
And what was the response?
She
Thanks.
immediately wrote, Aaron, happy Mother's Day. So, yeah, I just couldn't believe that I put, anyway.
Tell you, man, technology, you got to be careful.
Man,
Yeah.
it gets me all the time.
That's like sometimes when you like the audio text, right? Or like the voice text.
Mm-hmm.
You're just like, say what you're going to say. And then sometimes it comes out perfect. So other times I get a little lazy. And the next thing I know, the one that I don't proofread, it's like my 5-year-old got on my phone and just started bashing in letters.
It's terrible.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But hey, AI's taking over. You know.
Too many faux pas there. But talking about big weekends, Chris just had a big weekend and his daughter graduated from college. Man, that makes you old, Chris.
Yes, and I feel every day of it.
Yeah.
No, it was great. We went and spent the weekend with her. She got a special award for her GPA,
Nice.
and
No one's surprised.
No.
no, not at all.
All right. Where does she get all of her smarts from? Mom or dad or both?
Both. I would say both.
I really think it's both.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's both.
Yeah, and if anybody knows the two of you and your wife, yeah, y'all are both smart, man.
But she's taking it to another level. Yeah, way beyond how smart we are.
Yeah,
But you guys are a lot innately alike, you and Avery, right?
Oh.
Like likes and dislikes and all those things.
yeah. Yeah, Jessica always said that she's Chris in a dress.
I love it.
So are y'all? I mean, I know she's probably close to both of you, but like because she's more like you in likes dislikes. Do y'all get along really well? Like,
Oh, yeah.
yeah,
Very, very well.
yeah.
But she's closer to me in certain ways, but then she's also closer to my wife in certain ways.
Yeah.
So we're close to her, but in different ways.
Sure.
Yeah.
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 That's awesome. Congrats, Avery. College, man. Feels like
Would you go
yesterday.
back? Would you go back?
Would I go back?
Yeah,
To college?
yeah. College years.
Absolutely.
Yeah, Chris, would you go back?
I would do it.
Only if I could do it right.
Right.
Yeah. Okay. That's fair. Yeah. I'd agree with that.
I've talked about this with my boys because one's in college and one's about to go. The one thing I regretted was not living on campus the whole time just because I couldn't afford it. I wish I could go back and have that campus life experience. I got to do some of the things on, campus, but it just wasn't the same. My wife lived on campus all 4 years and all the friends and experiences and all that, but that's what we're trying to communicate to them. There's something about that campus life, especially at a Christian university, that's so cool and fun to be a part of. So anyway.
Or to Chris' point, right? If you do it right.
Right.
Like that. Yeah. Aaron and I will sometimes talk about like back when we first got married.
Yeah.
You know, no kids, your schedule's different. Like we'll joke about and laugh how she would come home from work. She got off earlier than I did, working in a hospital setting, and she would come home, clean up a little bit, take a little nap, go for a jog, and like now nobody's doing any of that
No.
at all. So yeah, live it up, Avery. Live it up.
Avery got the highest GPA award, and Justin got the lowest GPA.
I'm sure
award.
somebody got lower than me. That's all I'm saying. I just haven't met him. I'm sure somebody got lower. I'm sure somebody got zeros. I know you're out there.
Who are they?
I don't know.
I haven't met them yet.
I don't know. I got my degree.
Oh, goodness. All right. Well, let's go ahead and jump in tonight. Chris, we want to hear your story, who you are, your experiences, what the Lord's done in your life to the point that you're at today. So, man, dive in. Tell us who you are, man. What happened in your life to lead you to the Lord and all of that kind of stuff.
All right. Well, it all started on a cold day in Kentucky. In 1978, I was born at Fort Campbell Army Base.
Okay. Nice.
Ended up, my parents moved. My dad got out of the military. They moved back to the Memphis area. Grew up there. Not too far from Tommy. I was in Binghamton. So Binghamton represent.
Yeah.
Lived there until I was, I think, 12 or 13. Then we moved out to this area where we're at now, a little north of Memphis.
Yeah.
Ended up in, in Memphis. I was in 2 different schools for 6th and 7th grade. We moved up here. I was in my 3rd school in 8th grade. And then I go to start high school, and I'm in my 4th school in 4 years.
Wow.
Yeah. So that was kind of tumultuous.
Those aren't awkward years at all either.
Yeah.
And we can talk about that later.
So what drove a lot of the moving? Was it work and jobs, or was it?
It was, so when I went from 6th to 7th grade, I was going to have to go to a school that my parents did not want me to go to.
Where Tommy went, probably.
Actually, it wasn't that bad.
Okay.
So then they put me in a private school for 1 year for 7th grade. Then when we actually moved, then I went to the middle school, which ended in 8th grade. So that was my 8th grade year. And then I started high school and went to another school
Got it.
my 9th grade year.
So it was more school situations than it was like moving around and being in different districts or something like that.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good deal.
So then I moved to this area, graduated from the same high school. So I went all 4 years at the same high school, thank goodness. It was while I was in high school after we moved that we started going to small church around the corner. The youth pastor really took me in, and it was at that church in February of 92 that I got saved in the library, which was smaller than this office at this little church. Shortly after that, probably about a year, I've had and this is going to sound bad, but I'm going to explain it. There was a quote unquote call to ministry.
Okay.
And it was more so being people pushing me very lightly. Oh, well, I can see you doing this, or I can see you being a missionary, or I can see you up in a pulpit, or, this, that, whatever. So that's what I decided I need to do. That's what Chris decided he needed to do.
And how old are you at this point? Like 14, 15?
It was my freshman year, so it would have been 15.
Okay.
Yeah, 15.
Now, how old is Jeremy at this point?
If I was 15, Jeremy's 9.
Okay. All right. Okay.
Yeah, so I'm 6 years older.
Okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Beard's not as long.
That's right.
If I tried to grow my beard like Jeremy, I would have an afro on my face because my hair's curly. So, it wouldn't look nearly as good.
Yeah. No,
We all... Oh, go ahead.
No, I was just going to say it's funny kind of looking at the two of you guys. Like, I didn't even realize you guys were brothers, and I feel like same people look at my brother and I the same way. Like, wait, what? Y'all are related? Like, I didn't even know y'all were related, much less brothers. So, anyway, y'all just look very different to me.
Were y'all close growing up?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
I mean, I was older, so I beat him up a little bit. Right. But most of the time, I was nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
See, my brother's 11 years older than me. So we didn't really have much of a relationship till I got married. And then we was like, okay, we can talk now.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
So call to ministry.
15.
Yeah. There was a call to ministry. I wanna jump back a little bit.
Okay.
My 5th grade year, my grandfather passed away. So some of my earliest memories have my grandfather in them. While my parents were at work, him and my grandmother kept me. She worked, so pretty much that meant he kept me and Jeremy. And I mean, that was like, I mean, at times he was more my dad than my dad. I mean, and that doesn't say anything against my dad. He's a great man, but you know, I was just around my grandfather more.
Right.
Yeah.
And, you know, he did grandfather things. I mean, he was a practical joker, sometimes mean about it. You know, but it was really tough on me when he died when I was 10. So
Was it expected, or was he kind of just having health issues, or?
you know what? It's kind of wild because the man had multiple heart attacks, stroke, gallbladder taken out, all these other things, and it was lung cancer that killed him from smoking for like 30-something years.
Right.
Wow.
So, I mean, he was diagnosed, and I remember the day we were walking on a sidewalk in front of the house, and he told me he had cancer. And of course, I'm 9 years old. I didn't understand that. You know, you have cancer. But you know, he was trying to tell me that this was it. But
Right.
you know, I didn't understand.
Yeah.
I understood death, but I didn't understand that. Yeah, this is
He was
what's
dying.
going to happen to Papa.
Sure.
Yeah.
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 And I mean, I remember the hospital bed in their house. I remember, you know, just all those things. And I remember the morning that I came downstairs and my mom met me on the stairs at our house because we lived right next door to him.
Yeah.
And she told me he died.
Oh man. Yeah.
And that hit hard. Not necessarily those first few days,
Sure.
but it was afterwards, you know, after
Like there was a void.
definitely,
Yeah.
you know, after people stop, you know, bringing food over and you
Right.
stop having people call, and, you know, it was,
Reality sinks
yeah,
in.
2, 3, 4, 5, 6 months later, you know, it just like you said, reality sank in, and it was just like this big cloud
Yeah.
all the time,
Yeah.
because Papa's not there.
Right.
You know, he's the one that took us to school. He's the one that picked us up from school. You know, every time he went to the grocery store, you know, we went with him.
Right.
You know, me and my dad and my uncle did a big fishing trip every summer, and you know, he wasn't there.
Yeah.
You know, in fact, I think the last one we went on was actually his last one to go.
So that, like, something like that didn't carry forward.
Like
No.
with anybody
Different,
else. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
No, it didn't. It didn't.
Yeah.
It's tough, man.
You know, and this kind of lasted. This lasted a long time, like decades. There was really no outlet for it. There was the one time somebody gave me advice, it was to get over it.
Sure.
You know, hey, it's been a long time. You need to get over it,
Yeah.
which doesn't help.
Yeah.
So those of you listening, don't tell people that when they're grieving. Things got a little worse when I was talking about the 4 school changes in 4 years.
Yeah.
You know, and Jeff, you mentioned it was
Yeah.
that's a significant time between 6th and 9th grade.
Yeah.
And, you know, I didn't have consistency in friends, consistency in teachers. I mean, just nothing. It
Yeah.
was, you know, I understand why my parents did everything they did. It is not their fault.
Sure.
But, you know, every new school, I found myself trying to change myself to fit into a group that I thought I could fit in with.
Sure.
Because you go into a school every year, there's going to be groups that are already formed. You know, you've known each other for several years. So, you know, it was just trying to conform myself to that group. You know, just in how I spoke, how I dressed, what music I listened to, et cetera. You know, you have to find your niche, and it's hard enough already.
I was going to say, I think we all go through
yeah.
that phase of trying to figure out who we are and yeah, how to fit into a group. But
Tommy's mentioned that before on here. I think he wore like Jinko pants and all the other stuff.
He's
on some
still
of the
trying to figure out who he is.
Yeah,
I think he still wears Jinko
yeah,
pants.
probably at the house. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. It's definitely
next to his gi.
yeah. That's what he's doing right now. He's wearing the Jinko pants
That's right.
and messing with the juicer.
That's right. That's right. I could totally see it.
Yeah. The ninth grade year, let's just keep piling it on. There was some bullying going on.
Yeah.
So I got to be in the gym class with all the guys who had failed before. So they were all like juniors and seniors, and then you throw a handful of freshmen in there.
yeah.
And so they're picking on everybody. I don't know why I got the brunt of it. There's no rhyme or reason.
Sure.
I was kind of average looking, wasn't really the weird one, but I got it. And then their friends were in other classes, so I got it from them too. So it was awful, but it stopped after that year.
Yeah.
But that kind of stuck with me too.
Sure.
I don't know why, but it just did.
Yeah.
So,
Are you involved in church at this time? Or are you?
I am very involved. You know, I'm the kid in the youth group who's called to ministry. So I'm the one. You know, hey, why don't you teach this week?
Right.
Oh, okay, yeah, I'll do that.
All right.
You know, so I'm doing that. I'm the leader. You know, the little youth group of 12 to 15 kids. I'm the leader.
Right.
You know, but behind the scenes, because of all this on me, you know, all of the cloud from my grandfather, the trying to fit in, the bullying that went on, that's just, you know, constantly in my mind. I mean, at this point in high school, it's suicidal thoughts.
Sure.
You know, not I'm not going to do it, but it's there.
Sure.
Yeah.
There's also started you know, we have the nice word for it now, self-harm.
Yeah.
You know, back in the day, it was self-mutilation.
Right.
You know, cutting. Then it progressed into, hey, you know what? I'm mad, or I'm frustrated, or I feel awful and depressed. So I'm just going to go punch this brick wall for a little bit,
Right.
or the wood wall in the barn. Something.
Yeah.
You know, or maybe I did something wrong, so this is what I'm going to go do to punish myself.
Sure.
You know, all of that is just intertwined at this point, just awful. And this kind of behavior, so I got married in 99. This carried over into when I got married.
Well, yeah. Did you, not to cut you off, sorry. So if this kind of behavior carried over into even when you got married, like, did you ever meet with anyone, talk to anybody, specialist, professional, anything like that, or just kind of just more figuring it out?
I'm able to put a nice mask on, a great mask. I mean, nobody knew. Even when I was dating my wife, I think it was probably a year before I opened up about all this and all these things that went on. And there's a couple things I left out too, but there's no reason to go into those. But, you know, she didn't even know.
Yeah.
You know, but before we started dating, you know, I was the cool, happy guy Jaeger, you know. But, you know, that was me. So, you know,
Yeah.
but I had the mask.
Yeah.
And just able to hide it. So when was it? We were married for 3 years, and things weren't, we had some issues. She thought it was her fault. So she decides to go to she was working as a teacher. So she went to the county psychologist to see what she could fix. And then the guy was like, well, he sounds like something's wrong with him. Bring this guy in.
Yeah.
So
They said it wasn't me, it's you.
Everybody's going to love to go talk to somebody.
Exactly.
It's
Right.
never me. It's the other person.
Right.
Yeah.
So I was pretty much diagnosed by this psychologist before I even walked through his door. Like,
Sure.
he already told my wife what my diagnosis was. So I walk through the door. I'm talking to the guy. I talked to him for like 10 minutes. He goes, oh, yeah, you're bipolar 3, which is now cyclothymic disorder. That's what it is in the current DSM. So he was like, why don't you go to this outpatient program at this psychiatric facility? I'm like, just walk through the door, dude.
Right.
So I'm like, well, okay, yeah, I'm broken. I do have these feelings. These things are going on. Well, let's do it. So I went to an outpatient program for 2 months at this psychiatric facility nearby. I really thought I was messed up because, man, there were some people that came through there with me that I'm like, man, you can't let these people back on the street, but you're keeping me, and you're letting them go.
Right.
So, but anyway, I got there, had a diagnosis of the bipolar 3. Then they put me on some medications. I started out taking one medication, and it ended up being a cocktail for a long time. And it kept changing because I wasn't responding to it. So it was just off and on and back and forth for just months and months. And then they changed the diagnosis. So I went from bipolar 3 to dysthymia with social anxiety disorder and OCD. So I've got a lot of labels there.
So real quick, so months and months and months with one disorder labeled. How old are you then? How long is that time frame with the first diagnosis for the disorder they mentioned? So how old and how long does that first diagnosis go on for?
So I was 23
Okay.
at the time of the first diagnosis.
Okay.
And it was probably a couple months
Okay.
afterwards.
But you're already taking medications, everything else, and then it switches, and then new medications. Is
Right.
what you're saying.
Yes. So the first thing they put me on was lithium right off the bat because it's bipolar 3.
Right.
And they put me on that, and I was like a zombie.
Sure.
I mean, I sat on the couch and I would sit there to watch TV, and then all of a sudden I'm like, wow, it's 2 hours later. Did I zone out or was I abducted by aliens? What happened? Because I just lost time.
Yeah. And this is outpatient, right?
Yeah, outpatient.
So like you're going back out, but medicated and everything. So
Correct.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, it was 8 to 2, Monday through Friday for 2 months.
That's a job.
Yeah.
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 Those are job hours.
And then I was going after I got out outpatient, I went to my job.
Wow.
So, yeah.
Okay.
So I get done with that. Going forward, it's kind of like short term. I would do good for 3, 4, 5, 6, 8 months, maybe a year, and then you kind of spiral backwards. And then it would short term, I would do better, and then it would go backwards. And the self-harm was gone, so I'm not doing that again. The suicidal thoughts, back and forth, off and on.
And with that, can I ask you this? So like suicidal thoughts, because I think like for anybody listening or anybody that's known anybody that's kind of gone through something like that, are these thoughts more like maybe not the harm of suicidal thoughts, just more like, it'd be better if like I wasn't here type thoughts, or like kind of unpack what kind of thoughts those were for you? And you have to go into detail, obviously, because, it's probably heavy, to talk about, but, what was kind of going through your mind?
There were the thoughts that you talked about, if I wasn't here, it'd be better. But then there's also the thoughts about, well, what's the best way to do it?
Yeah.
And when I look back, I think that I never tried because there's not a way that's 100% successful. So yeah, it was pretty rough. During this time with these labels that I had, it was very easy to use those labels as a crutch.
Sure.
It was easy to use those labels to avoid things because, hey, guess what? I got social anxiety disorder. I don't have to go to the party with these people I don't like.
Yeah.
Or
it's I've told a family member before. It's like I feel like you use this to manipulate and control situations.
absolutely,
Yeah.
and I did.
Yeah.
I use the labels to justify my actions. I use the labels to justify my inactions or my inaction. And it was harmful for, I mean, for me, it was harmful for, my marriage. There were, and that lasted up until like 2018. It was about 2018.
Yeah.
The whole time I'm wearing this mask to the world, nobody would have known. There were people I talked to about it, and I was very open about my battle with, depression, anxiety, etc. But it was, I don't know, looking backwards, I did want to help people and did want people to know. But even that of telling them was a form of a crutch.
Sure.
And it's kind of, to make myself different and to make myself stand out.
Yeah.
If that makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's a horrible thing. It's pretty deplorable when I say it out loud.
Yeah.
To use something like that to make myself stand out.
Sure.
Do you think there's a part of you, and I don't know, I'm asking the question, like, yes, that part, like saying it out loud as a crutch in that manner, but is there also some version where you're like, well, if I say it out loud, well, then I'm also kind of two birds, one stone in this thing, because I'm acknowledging the thing that I have, and it's not just keeping it to myself. And so I'm saying it out loud to other people, go me, and then just keep going about living life, I don't know.
Yeah, when I look back, when I got out of the outpatient program and I was, yay, gung ho, I found out what's wrong. I've got these diagnoses, I've got these labels. This is what's wrong with me now. Uh-huh. And I was kind of gung ho about it and telling people, and because once you tell one person, people come out of the woodwork and want to talk to you.
Sure.
Because they're experiencing the same thing.
Right.
Depression is everywhere. Anxiety is everywhere. It just, all forms of suffering are just all around us, and people they keep it holed up.
So during this time, you're talking, 20 years of, where are you at spiritually? Like, how are you battling these things, these thoughts, these struggles with spiritual truth at the same time? Are those warring against each other? How are you handling that?
There was a gigantic war in my heart and in my mind.
Yeah.
The whole time. From when I became a believer in that little bitty tiny library until 2018.
Yeah.
And here's the thing, was privately my spiritual life was okay.
Sure.
There was prayer, there was reading of scripture, there was confession of sin to a point, not the right ones, but the ones I wanted to confess. And publicly, I'm involved in church. I'm teaching classes. I'm teaching youth classes. I'm teaching, adult classes. I'm starting classes. Classes are growing that I'm leading. And it wasn't that I'm hiding everything, and I'm not trying to grow spiritually. I feel like I did spiritually grow at that point, but I wasn't. There were things I wasn't letting go of.
Sure.
And things I wasn't addressing in my own life.
It's almost like two different people happening at the same. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. There were definitely two different people.
Yeah. It's interesting because, obviously scripture speaks to that, with the two wars waging within us, in that regard. And I think most of us, especially as believers, can relate to that to some degree, of having taught a class, but like personally struggling with whatever. But not really feeling like that's the place that you can tell people. So you show up and you smile and you greet everybody and you teach the class. But really, when you're done, you're just like, oh my goodness, how did I even share that? Because I'm dealing with all this other stuff. And so, yeah, I can relate to that in that regard, of kind of thinking through it that way and seeing how the enemy can convince you of, you know what? Just keep that to yourself. You know, you wear a really good mask and nobody knows, and it's fine.
Yeah.
Just keep doing what you're doing.
Or, right, the whispers of, hey, if you share that,
Yeah.
imagine what people are going to think.
Right.
Right. And then you hang on to it longer. You bury it deeper. Yeah.
Right. Absolutely. And, you know, I can look back at that time, even though I wasn't where I needed to be spiritually, you know, God was using me in some people's lives. You know, if for anything, to let people know that they're not the only one suffering.
Sure.
You know, they're not the only one out there dealing with, you know, these different things in their life.
So kind of looking back before the diagnosis and all that kind of stuff, can you kind of see that, or like, when do you feel like those things really started? I mean, was it before your grandfather passed, even some things, but maybe that just made the cloud more noticeable, maybe? Or do you really go back to that 10?
It was that moment.
Yeah.
It was the few months after his passing.
Yeah. Gotcha.
That's when everything started to spiral.
Do you, looking back, I mean, did your parents kind of walk you through that loss, that grief? Did they, you know, verbalize that, help you walk through that? Or was it just kind of like, you go to the funeral, this is sad, and then you move on? And
essentially, yeah. You go to the funeral, you know, maybe a few days afterwards, everybody's kind of down, and then you have to go back to normal life. I mean, they both worked.
Yeah.
You know, and now my grandmother's next door by herself.
Right.
So now we have to work, plus we have to do things to help take care of her.
No, I just remember distinctly, you know, because I was 9 when my brother passed. My mom just really verbal about her grief, you know, and she would just cry, or she would want to listen to the same worship song over and over again. Or we would go to the cemetery, it felt like every day for like 6 months after his passing, and we would sweep off the, you know, headstone there, and we would walk and just talk to other people who were grieving, you know. And I just did that with my mom, and you know, and I remember asking her specifically, like, you know, hey, I didn't really see Dad grieve a whole lot, you know, like you did. You know, I said, how did you get through that time? And she said, your dad let me grieve how I needed to grieve. He didn't say it's been a year, get over it, you know, to your point. He just let me do what I needed to do to process it, you know. And I think her processing it really out loud helped me process it as a 9-year-old kid too, you know, because you all have those, you know, thoughts and all the things that come in at an early age when mortality is boom right in front of you all of a sudden, somebody that's really important to you. And so starting to walk through that and experience that, man, it really does make a difference being able to talk through it, you know. And
yeah, and so this was my mom's father.
Okay.
And you know, growing up and when I would talk to her, you know, especially when I got a little older, probably, you know, 10, 11, 12, you know, I kind of knew he was an alcoholic before. I didn't really know that he was violent, and you know, he ended up getting off the alcohol. And my mother told me that, you know, his name was Charlie. Said, you know, the Charlie you knew is not what I grew up with. This is a different person.
Sure.
This is a really good man. He's a man who loves you, loves his family. But the one before,
but he's Charlie 2.0.
Right. Yeah.
Sure.
She said the one that I know that I always think about is the one who was violent.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I don't think she was equipped
Sure.
to help me deal with my grief, because it's over two different people.
Sure.
There's when he died, there was this man that died, knowing a little bit of the new one.
Sure.
But for me, it was Charlie 2.0.
Right. Yeah.
Can you imagine what your mom's feeling, you know, to your point? Like that, and I know we're not talking about your mom and her grieving, but that grieving process and what it may look like for her, and knowing Charlie original 1.0 and then the passing of him, only to your point, knowing a little bit of the newer version and changed Charlie. Like, man, that's a whole kind of processing thing in and of itself.
Yeah. That's a lot to unpack.
Yeah.
You know, when you think about, you know, the walls that were built up to protect herself and wounds and all of that that's there, And yet,
Yeah.
you know, it's probably, you know, I just remember my wife walking through that with her dad and just kind of like emotionless, you know? And then, you know, here you are, like, it's your favorite guy, you know? He was
And that's
there.
where my mind goes. Is like, imagine the guilt somebody feels for maybe not feeling full sadness
Yeah.
and whatever else because of the experiences they have with somebody.
But not only that, but like, why does he get to experience it and I didn't?
yeah.
You
Oh
know?
man, yeah.
You know, I wish I would
Like
have
almost
had
being
that.
jealous.
Yeah.
Right. Not at the person, but just the
Yeah.
experience that person had.
That's what I always wanted. Yeah.
Yeah.
So there's a lot going on there.
Man.
Well, and you know, he made such an impact on me so much that my son's first name is his last name.
Yeah.
Mm,
Yeah.
yeah.
I love it.
That's cool.
Yeah. That is huge.
Man.
Yeah. Wrap your mind around it all.
Yeah. That's crazy.
I think this is a perfect place to stop because we're talking about 2018. Clearly, something happened in 2018. You guys are going to have to tune back in to figure out what it is. So, Chris, thanks, man, for sharing your story. And, man, we're excited to hear part 2. Thanks for listening, guys.